This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast. Hey friends, welcome to I'll Have Another Podcast with Lindsey Hine. I'm your host, Lindsey. Thank you so much for joining today. Super fun episode today. We've got Sara Hall and Calli Thackery Hauger on the podcast. Really excited to have these two on the show. They just went 1-2 at the Houston Marathon and they trained together. So I was like, let's have them on together because I've wanted to kind of get a little more insight on what their training system looks like. And I just think they're such a fun duo. So Calli ran 2:24:17 and Sara ran 2:26:26, 1-2 in the marathon. And this is a very quick turnaround from both of their previous marathons. Calli just ran the Honolulu Marathon, which she won, and that was just on December 14th. And then Sara ran CIM, the USA Marathon Champs, and she placed second at that race. And we all know Sara likes to get back out there and grind and train for another race. She didn't, however, necessarily plan on finishing Houston. So we hear that story in this conversation, and we get to talk about both of their husbands coach them, and we get to learn all about that dynamic. So this was super fun. I also want to mention Sara's got a book coming out the day before, I believe, the Boston Marathon, For the Love of the Grind. And we all know Sara's been in this game for a very long time. It's been decades that we have watched Sara compete with all of her heart. And so if you want to support her, go buy that book. You can pre-order it. And I know that pre-orders are really important for publishers and authors. And so you can find it anywhere books are sold, For the Love of the Grind. Go check it out. And I really hope y'all enjoyed this conversation with Calli and Sara. If you do enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a quick rating and review on iTunes or wherever you're listening so potential new listeners can find us. Hey, you can also find me co-hosting the Road to the Trials podcast, where we're interviewing as many qualifiers for the Olympic Trials Marathon as possible. From now, we launched that in September through 2028 when we have the Olympic Trials Marathon. So yeah, check it out. Peter Bromka, Matt Chittum, and I are having a lot of fun doing that. And then I also still co-host the Relay podcast. If you want to learn more about this podcast, I'll have another, or any of the other shows in my network. I've got a whole host of shows about running with some amazing hosts. Check out the website at sandyboyproductions.com. All right, friends, please enjoy my conversation with Calli and Sara. All right, friends. So excited to have a duo on the podcast today. 1-2 in Houston. We've got Calli Thackery Hauger. Did I say that backwards?
That's okay,
Hauger-Thackery.
yeah. Calli Hauger-Thackery.
And Sara Hall. Okay, I did it. Okay, Calli Hauger-Thackery and Sara Hall. I'm so excited to have you two on. When I saw Houston's results, I was like, they trained together. And I love seeing videos of y'all training together. So congratulations and thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks
This
for
is
having
awesome.
us.
Let's talk about Houston a little bit because you guys were coming off marathons. Like Sara, you just ran CIM. Calli, you just ran Honolulu. So we'll throw it to you, Calli. What made you decide to do back-to-back marathons so quickly?
Yeah, I feel like me and Sara have been on this like relentless pursuit since since a hard time for both of us as well. We're on similar paths right now where we were like, okay, like it's on. And I feel like there was no tears and no upsets. We're like, no, we're gonna just turn this around. It's okay. There's gonna be another opportunity for another marathon around the corner. So it was CIM for Sara, and it was obviously for me it was Honolulu. But yeah, oh my gosh, I don't know why I did the back-to-back one. Don't it's still questionable, and I don't recommend it because it is a crazy turnaround, 4 weeks. I thought I was recovered, but in the marathon, when you're actually doing that 26.2 again, like just a few weeks later, your body is screaming. It was like, it was a big ask. I genuinely did not think I was going to finish that day. Because by mile 10, I was like, oh no, this is going to be a long road to finish. I was already hurting quite early. And yeah, just, I don't know. like, ideally, like, that would have been the perfect marathon as well because it was just, like, much colder than Honolulu. Honolulu was actually way easier. I found Honolulu was just, like, 20 miles of just, like, locking into a rhythm, and it was, like, a 10K race. So that's why I thought I'd come off it okay. So I'm like, I technically did, like, a 10K today, really. I only raced the last 10K. Oh, yeah, it was just different marathons, like, completely polar opposite marathons, to do. But I just thought with the spring marathon being when it is, it's actually quite don't
Mm,
get like the fast marathons that often. So I
mhm.
wanted one more shot to like at least try and do a fast time. But yeah, it wasn't about the fast time on Sunday. It was more just like just finish and hopefully get the win, and that I'll be happy with that. So yeah, thankfully I managed to do that.
Sarah, I heard that like you were just not going to do the whole marathon and then you finished the marathon second place. What was going on there?
Yeah, so originally I was planning to do the half. Yeah, I ran CIM. I had no
Okay.
thoughts of really running another marathon. Actually, Callie, I think before our December marathons, like messaged me. She's like, "Hey, what's the quickest turnaround you've ever done in a marathon?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what are you plotting?" But like, there was no like thought of joining her in that. I was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do the half," and then kind of as a prep for my spring marathon. But then the race reached out and they were like, "Hey, we'd really love to have you like a part of the marathon. You can pace the OTQ group if you want, like kind of you can choose what pace you want to like pace." And so I was like, "Oh, that would be fun." I've never seen like the marathon course. I knew Callie was going to be out there, and she had Nick, so I wasn't planning to like be going that pace with her necessarily. But yeah, so that's kind of how it came. But then as I thought about it, like as soon as Josh presented it to me, I was like, I feel like once I'm out there, I like I'm gonna want to start like hunting down girls in the second half. And I knew how fast Callie was gonna go out, and I was like, I feel like there's gonna be some carnage in this race, and I'm gonna be seeing this, and I'm gonna be like wanting to finish. And so yeah, that's definitely like what happened. And but yeah, it was really fun. I'm really glad I did it. It was a really good like training effort and really fun just memory of like being in the
Mm.
finishing shoot with Callie, like just being so stoked to be 1-2 after all the training we'd done together the year prior.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was your mental commitment when you started? Like what did you think? You knew that like in the back of your head you're competitive, maybe you'll start hunting people down, but like what did you commit to?
Yeah, so I hadn't committed to more than halfway, but I think mentally I had to tell myself I was finishing just because I feel like the
Okay.
marathon is mentally you need to be able to get your mind around like what you're going to go through out there and like even just like carb loading or all the things you need to do. Like I flew in from
Mm.
Quito like 2 days before the race. And so I felt like it was this weird, like typically when you go into a marathon, you've been thinking about it for like 6 months. You've been like, once the week gets close, you're like, this is it. And you're making all the right choices. And so I felt like I didn't feel like that at all, which was weird because this wasn't a goal marathon, but I was like, hey, you need to like, if you're even thinking about finishing, like you need to act like you're
Mm.
finishing so that you're doing all the things you need to do. So mentally I was telling myself I was finishing, but then I was only committed to going halfway. Yeah.
Well, you both kind of had that experience then though because neither of you were like for 6 months like focusing on this marathon. So you did it feel like a relief of pressure almost to be like, okay, this wasn't like something I've been like training specifically for a long time?
Uh, no, I just think it was just like for me, it was like a bonus marathon, and that's why I think I
Mm.
was like battling with myself a little bit more though, because I was like, oh, this is just a bonus marathon anyway. Like, Callie, you're really hurting. I don't know if you should finish, but then it's like that competitive nature also comes back, and it's like, no, you can still win this, girl. You gotta do what you started, like finish what you started, like. So you are like having this constant battle with yourself. Oh yeah, I knew like when I was really hurting and I was coming off, there was an Ethiopian girl next to me and she was like not gaining anything on me. So I was like, okay, like she's not like I'm really hurting right now. So it must mean she is as well because
Mm.
she's not gained anything. So there's still hope. There's still a chance that I might still be able to fight for the win. And then when she started to really like come off on mile 14, 15, I was like, okay, like I wasn't really like, I didn't really do a crazy push or anything, but before you know it, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I'm like I'm in the lead now. But then you still don't know like what's going on with the other girls. Like I didn't know where Sarah was, I didn't know what she was doing.
Uh-huh.
But that was really cool. And like at the finish, I was like, is Sarah okay? Like, is she finishing? Or but I know Sarah, I'm like, she's gonna finish this. And then when Nick said, I've heard she's like second right now, I was like, no way. And then it was pretty much then I saw her like coming into the finish and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, it was so good. I loved it.
I didn't write it down. What was the gap? Like, what was the time difference? What was the time difference
So
between the two of you?
I finished in 2:24:17, which I was like actually
Okay.
like happy with it because I was like at one point I was like I don't know what time this is going to be today. It was a struggle. There was like crazy moments where I was like going back, but then I was able to be like, no, I got this, and then I was putting on like the pace again and trying to like fight for every second. And then yes, Sarah, what were you 2:26?
Yeah, I think just about 2 minutes slower than that. Yeah.
Okay.
So it feel long. Like I was like, oh wow, she's right there. Like and it's funny because one of the pacers, who's a really well-known pacer, he's paced Sarah before actually, Cal. He's paced Sarah, he's paced
Oh, yeah.
Kira many times.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he was saying like he actually finally came off just a few miles to go. He was like, Calli and Nick have got this now. So he came back a little bit, but he said he literally turned around and Sarah was like right there. And he, and he was like, oh shit, Sarah could still actually win this. Because he knew I was hurting. Like he knew like what was going on. And he was like, you just never know what those last few miles are actually going to like, like what's going to happen in those last few miles. So it was funny that he said that. But
What would that exchange have been? What would that exchange have been, Sarah? Because, like, you know, you're always competing with people that you know really well and you compete against, but you guys like really train together.
Yeah, I mean, my money's
Like,
on Callie all the time. Like she's usually taking it to me in
oh,
training most days, but yeah, no, it's fun. It's I think we just are really wired really similarly. So like both in training
huh.
and with racing. So I'm like either we're like the worst combo for each other or the best combo. I don't know, TBD on that. But like thus far it's like worked out really well. But yeah, we both like just love to like hammer
That's funny.
workouts and like I think like and work out as often as possible, race as often as possible. And so it's been fun to just
Yes.
find a person that's like this like I posted like it's like the same type of crazy as you know and so yeah it's definitely in hindsight I was like oh it would have been fun to be up there a little bit more with them and stuff and but yeah I think it definitely was like I was really happy just with the finish, the time, the how I felt and how I came
Mm.
off of it and everything. And so all in all, it was a big win.
no, Sarah, you played it the right way. Because honestly, like, I was like, why did we go off that hot? Like, it just made it such a hard ride. You did it the right way. It was, yeah, I'm like, I'm looking at the clock, and at some points we were like, basically, yeah, on PB pace 2:21. And I'm like, oh, guys, like I said, I want to work into this. But you just do, you get carried
Oh,
away on the day, and it's like, yeah, you just go for it and I wasn't really like paying attention too much on like what the time was, but I just knew I was like, this feels fast. So yeah, I think Sarah played it right and just like worked her way into it. It's always nice to run it that way for sure.
What was the advice when you asked Sarah, like, how quickly have you done back to back? What was the answer? And then was there any advice there?
I think I told her I'd only done 5 weeks before, I think
Okay.
I, yeah, I don't know if I really gave a lot of advice. Um, I think we were just chatting about options at that point because she was looking at like what might her options be for like a faster race. And yeah. Um but yeah, she's in good hands with Nick. They know what they're doing and
Mm.
she turns it around all the time after races. So yeah, I didn't think I needed to give her much.
Well, this is like one of my favorite things. I think, Sarah, like one of the fans' favorite things about you is like you follow your heart, you do what feels right. Like it might be unconventional racing so often, but like that's what you love to do. And we know your book. When is your book coming out?
Yeah, it comes out the day after Boston Marathon. Yeah, For the Love of the
Oh, that's
Grind.
right. Yeah. For the love of the grind. I think when I interviewed you after CIM quickly, I think I called it the wrong thing. For the
Oh,
love
okay.
of the run maybe, but for the love of the grind. Okay. Um, and that when I saw that that was the title of your book, though, I was like, that is so perfect for Sara because that we know that you love it so much. Can you talk a little bit about like that being the way of your career? Like you love grinding, you love working hard in these big workouts, and you might race and be like, I want to do it again in 2 weeks or whatever. Um, Even when on paper people might say, oh, you need to space it out a little bit more. Talk about that way of training a little bit.
Yeah, well, the book's about longevity and kind of what I feel like has gone into my longevity in the sport, all the things I've learned along the way. And I think the biggest part of longevity is loving the grind, right? It's learning to love the process aside from
Mm,
results cuz especially my career results have never been like guaranteed necessarily, I've had the days it's all come together and then most of the time I would say it hasn't. It's a lot of things that go into loving the grind and longevity. It's the
mm,
physical, like learning how to take care of yourself to be able to bounce back. It's the mental where you can go into a race feeling like you have nothing to lose and nothing to prove, but you get to just like send it for the joy of it. Like how I was able to get to that mental place, like spiritually, like how that led into it for me, like, and that really freed me up to like get rid of the fear of failure and the pressure and stuff that was really holding me back early in my pro career. So yeah, it's a lot it's really like the book I wish I had had when I was younger. I think ideally
mm.
that's what you write, right? Is like what's the book you wish you had that would have helped you? And so I really hope it helps people in their process, in their grind. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with the world.
You said that that's something early in your career that you had to learn, right, along the way. Is there anything that like happened or transpired that made you realize like regardless of what happens, like I have to love this for what it is?
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot of failure. Like, I placed last at the US Nationals in the 5K in 2009. And that was kind of like the absolute low point of hitting rock bottom where I'm like, I'm not even like good at this. Like, I'm a professional. I'm like being paid to like win. And, I was coming from like being a national champion in high school, like being runner up at NCAA's like 5 times in college, like all these things. And so, to hit that low where really like I lost a lot of faith in my body. I lost a lot of faith in myself as a competitor. Like it took that getting to that point to really honestly for me, it was my spiritual life of experiencing God's like
Mm,
unconditional love in that moment of like it doesn't like if it doesn't matter how fast or how slow I run or like what place I get that like God couldn't love me anymore in this moment than he does right now. And like I'd always heard about the unconditional love of God like as a kid, but I think it took like that really low point for it to go from my head to my heart. And when it did, all of a sudden it started the snowball going the other way where it would like freed me up to be like okay, like there's literally nothing I can do that will make me a failure. Like I can fail, but I'm not a failure. And um, and my worth and my like belonging and everything isn't on the line every time out when I race. Cause that's what it was feeling like. It was like every race felt high stakes, like love and belonging was like on the line. But when you get secure in that kind of apart from results, for me, that allowed me to then just feel more free and take more risks. And then I started like having more success and it just like snowballed the other way until now when you can run another marathon 5 weeks later and you're like, there's nothing to lose. Like, let's just go send it. It's going to be fun. But
I just think it's such valuable advice for anything where anybody's pursuing in life, outside of running, because like that's the only way you're going to really find true success if you're finding happiness and joy in whatever the process is. I want to know, when did you all start training together? Because Calli, when I first had you on the podcast, I don't know when that was. Maybe, I don't even think it was a year ago. I can't remember when we did it, but you were already training together. And you told a really funny story about Sara in a workout. When did this like relationship begin?
I told Sarah, I told this story the first time we trained together, and you were throwing up for like projectile. It was crazy. Like, I was like, and to be fair, I think I've only seen her do that one more time since, and we've been training together for quite a bit now. But I was like, oh wow, this is like, I was kind of impressed though. I was like, she just went for it. She didn't even like batter her eyelid though. She was just like throwing up. Then she was like, oh, no worries. I was like, and then she was like, I've literally not done that since high school. And I was like, yeah, I was just really proud. I was like, yes, I just made Sarah
right there.
I was like, yeah, okay, it's gonna work well. We're gonna work well
So
together. We're gonna
good.
push each other to new limits. That's awesome.
So good.
Yeah. But
I also witnessed a Sara vomit at the end of CIM, and I never would post it, but I actually had a really good picture because I was like just taking pictures of the finish line, just bananas coming out.
that's so funny.
I need that photo. Oh man.
I'll send you the photo, Sara. You can do with it what you want. I was just like, whoops, I didn't mean to capture that. But I could tell because Molly, you were talking, I think, to Molly Bourne after CIM, and you guys were kind of just like doing the back and forth, and you bend over and you take a step back, and I was like, oh, she needs some space here. And it just comes pouring out.
Yeah, Calli also had that in her December marathon. So I think, I don't know, we changed some things at Houston and it's definitely working. So we needed that extra marathon to like learn.
But I mean, I just think it's like at the end of a marathon, who knows what's coming up?
You just don't know. Well, it is
Yeah.
so unpredictable, the 26.2, but mine was crazy because mine was mid-race as well. So on the 19th mile, when
no
the
fun.
race was actually starting, me and the girls were like, okay, it's on now. Like, there's literally 3 girls and we're all battling for the win. And it was like, okay, cool, it's on. And as soon as this, like, a bit of that, shift of pace comes, I'm like vomiting. This is horrible. I'm sorry if anyone's eating while they're listening to this. But yeah,
They're probably running. It's fine.
I just started like, I've never ever experienced that. And I was like, I couldn't even stop it. And Nikki's like, oh my God, is she okay? Like, I've never seen this from Calli ever. Like, never in training, never in a race.
Huh.
And it was just, I couldn't even stop it. It was just like uncontrollable. It was just like my body was just rejecting the drink I just had. And it was just like my last, basically what it was going to be like my last drink. I was like, it just rejected it basically. And then I was like, okay, I just need to like get this out of me. It's okay. I just had to keep my calm, but I did like immediately like go step to the side because it was horrible. Like my stomach was just doing crazy things. And then I was able to just like, luckily, like still battle for the win and then finish. But then it was like they all want to grab you at the finish and stuff, and like they're worried about you. The medical team just like come with the wheelchair, and it's like, no guys, please. And Nick's just like, give her space, just give her space. And then it just comes out, and I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen that ever in myself. But yeah, I think it's just a mixture of everything, isn't it? And then the humidity as well on top of it.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, I sidetracked the question about when did you all start training together?
Was it, Sarah?
It
When
was
the
after
first started?
our fall marathons last year. So it was October last year. Calli ran Berlin, I ran Chicago. And then so yeah, it's been exactly a year. But it's been awesome because, you know, she when I first met her, she's like, I'm headed to Albuquerque, you know, that's like where I went to school and stuff. And I was like, no, that's sad. But then like I feel like just like a few months into training, I convinced her to stick around, and they bought a place in Flagstaff. And I feel like we've really prioritized working together, and it's been nice. Our husbands coach each other, and so we've been able to like collaborate. It's like I'll do the workout that they're really wanting to do, and then the next one, like they'll do the one Ryan had in mind. And really, it's like it's similar stuff, right? It's like hard work, and like there's no magic bullet to training, and we've just chosen that like we're better together and like compromising. But that's actually pretty rare, I feel like, in the professional realms, to have people, like a lot of times people just get really entrenched in like what they want to do or what their coach wants them to do or whatever. And I think that compromise has been been really awesome. And I feel really grateful to her and Nick for like the ways they've like prioritized, just like making it work. Cause I think it just adds like so much more joy to the process too, than when you're doing your own thing. Like, I think like it's what share, like those finish line moments where you're together, like are just so much more special when you've shared the journey, like up to that point. And then also when you have the low moments, like we both had really rough fall marathons, like you can lift each other up and be like, hey, we're getting like revenge season now, like let's go. And so like, I think, the longer I do this, the more I realize it's like, prioritizing like the people you share the journey with is like really important.
A quick break here to thank Previnex and let you know that they've got a brand new flavor for their muscle health. Their muscle health product has creatine in it, which we know is super important to be taking if we're lifting weights. And also as we age, we lose muscle mass as we age. And it is so important to use creatine as a supplement. And you also want to make sure you're using the right form, the creatine monohydrate. Now, Previnex's muscle health also has BCAAs, other essential amino acids, and estrogen in their product. This is the most comprehensive muscle health out there. Their unique inclusion of estrogen is a clinically proven ingredient that improves the absorption of amino acids, peptides, folate, glucosamine, and other amino acids, as well as increase protein synthesis in the muscle. This is really unique because there are so many great muscle health ingredients packed into this one product. You'd have to buy 2 to 3 different products and spend pretty much double to get this high quality form of all these different ingredients that you get in the muscle health. And if you have tried it and you didn't like the cherry flavor they originally had, they now have a citrus flavor that is going over really well. People are loving this flavor. One of the most recent reviews, wow, the taste of citrus is amazing. I actually didn't mind the black cherry flavor, but I absolutely love the citrus flavor. It's tasty and refreshing. Muscle Health Plus has made a noticeable difference in my strength, lean muscle mass, body composition, and recovery. And this new flavor makes it even better. And one more review. I researched several muscle recovery supplements, and this one really did have the most benefits and combined several of the things I was looking for. I didn't expect the effects to take place so quickly, but they did. Normally, my body is aching after a hard workout to the point that I would often skip the next day to recover. But after taking Previnex, my body isn't in excruciating pain after a workout. I highly recommend it, and my only regret is that I didn't know about it sooner. That's from Rachel. So you all can check it out. Use the code Lindsey Strength. That's LINDSEY Strength to get 15% off your order as long as Muscle Health is in your cart. The product I'm also most obsessed with from Previnex is their Gut and Green that I take every single morning. Definitely check that out. If you are putting the Muscle Health in your cart, throw in that Gut and Green as well. Lindsey Strength, as long as you have the Muscle Health in your cart, will get you 15% off your order. Previnex is the best. Previnex.com. Go check it out. All right, back to the show. What's the group text like between the 4 of you?
Yeah, I was going to add to that as well. Like Ryan and Nick as well. Like they just luckily work so well together. And like Nick's always, like here and there will message Ryan and just ask like about the session if it works. And it is a collaborative effort, and it's just so nice. Like I feel like we're all on the same page with everything. And yeah, like Sarah said, it's just very rare to like find that we're very flexible people on the whole. Like we're just like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. Like, and then even with the times in the morning, maybe I'm a little bit like, more like, right, Sarah, what are you wanting? I feel like Sarah's more the early bird. Like I'm more like, but no, I don't mind. I'm happy to get it done as early as possible as well, because it is so nice when you've actually finished and you've still got the whole morning and afternoon and stuff. But no, it's funny that it just works and we're all on the same page. But yeah, the group chat. Have we got a group chat? I don't even think we have we?
No.
Surely you do.
The women and the men are like separate, but
yeah.
Okay. You got a 2 and 2 chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I imagine it would be simpler if you all picked the same spring marathon or like fall marathon for next year. How do those conversations happen?
Yeah, I think individually we're choosing the one that's best for us, but I'm always rooting for the same one, especially like if it's a flat one or a hilly one, like
yeah.
it's going to change slightly, like where you want to do workouts and stuff. So, thankfully we're both running the same spring marathon. So we're going to be able to,
Ooh, fun.
yeah, like it'll be a really easy syncing up process. But yeah, it's, I think, I think the one area that like maybe we diverge is like Calli's still definitely racing on the track quite a bit, whereas I think I'm not as like if I could not race in spikes on the track, I would probably run more track, but the spikes just like destroy me. So I'm like not used to them. So yeah, so that's I think where we kind of part ways at times when she wants to like do some like really track specific stuff. But yeah, the speed is always important. I feel like like even for the marathon, I think that's one thing that like we really benefit from doing together is like faster stuff is just so much easier with company than doing alone. And so yeah, we'll be doing that for sure on the roads too.
Yeah, where do you guys think like who has like a strength in one place and who has a strength in another place that like helps each other in that way?
Oh, Sarah's the long run queen and the tempo long run queen. Like she is known for being just like she can just go all day if she wanted. Um and yeah, I just think it's so impressive. Her like and just her longevity as a whole, it's just amazing and just but I think that's where she thrives, like in the longer stuff, like the really grindy workouts. And I know yeah, I like to like Sarah touched on, I like to tap into the speed still. Just I think last year was good, but I don't know about this year for the track, but last year I did hit my main goal to like make the world team in the 10,000, which was I just always wanted to do it on the track. Genuinely as a child, like that's what I envisioned myself making an
Mm.
Olympic team on the track. It was never the marathon, so it was just nice to just like hit that personal goal. Yeah, I think Sarah like underestimates herself though. She's also really fast. Like she can still kick my butt on some of the speed stuff as well. Like she's really like got the whole package for sure. But it's nice that we have like our different like strengths and weaknesses and we just work really well together and me in the middle a lot of the time.
What's a workout where like Callie and Nick are like, this is what we're gonna do, where you Sarah, you've maybe been like, woo, woo, I don't know if I want to get into that today, but you do it anyway. What's the kind of like and then vice versa?
Ooh, I would say it's probably just like the actual track, like not the workout, but like doing like
Oh.
2400s around a track. Like I think my body, like I'm trying to spend less time asymmetrically running in circles just because like I feel like I have a little more tendency to like have something pop up from the turns, like specifically.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times I'll still do it, but I'll be like, oh, circles. I don't know. Can we like do this on the road? But yeah, I don't know. Callie's game for anything I throw at her, though. I don't think there's anything that they're scared of.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like, I guess for me, like, if I had to pick, like, it'd be like Sarah really can like hit every long run quite hard, like, well, very hard. Whereas I'm like, I'll happily just go at a like a semi in the middle, like not steady, but not like I'll happily just go a bit more chill. I think she could hit like every run, even in Flagstaff, at like low 6 minute mile in. And I'm like, wow, that's impressive. I've only just started to do that with Sarah. Otherwise, I think I'd be comfortable at like 6:40, 7 minute pace for a long run. Just because it's been like normally it's been a big week, and I'm like, okay. But Sarah's like, no, long run time, like let's go. Like put on the super shoes for it maybe. And I'm like, I think I'm only just starting to see like actually no, it is another chance of a really solid run. It doesn't have to be crazy, but like a good in between.
You know, I noticed one of my friends, Mike Coe, he put together, I don't know if you probably saw it, Callie, he put together a list of like fastest running couples right now. And the caveat is they have to still be racing. So Sarah, you and Ryan are
Oh.
out of the list. But Callie and Nick, you were on the list, and it just made me think like it's so you guys have such a unique situation because obviously everybody knows Ryan ran at the highest level and is like the absolute like most studious person of the sport. And then you've got Nick who's like still competing at that level with you, Callie. So I am just fascinated by this, like how your husbands are like such a big part of your careers. Like you both are being coached by them. I don't really know what the question is, but maybe you guys can talk about, both of you can talk about like your relationships in that respect a little bit, because I do think it's pretty unique.
Yeah, Ryan, he's a really gifted coach naturally, and he was coaching some other pros up here in Flagstaff, but chose to step away from that um maybe a year or two ago, just because he was really wanting to focus on his spiritual life more, and he's just wanted more time, because it ended up being a lot of, you're out there at the workouts biking, and it's a lot of texting. And so yeah, I wasn't sure at the time. I was like, I don't know, maybe this is the end, maybe we're breaking up as coach athlete, but I guess there was never a conversation, so I'm not bringing it up for sure. But yeah, I feel really grateful, like, to have. I mean, I learned the marathon from watching Ryan, and then him getting to mentor me as a coach. Like, I feel like he just I think his biggest strength is the mental side too. Like, he's really good at reframing things to being positive. He's really like um I'm really hard on myself, and he's never like, why didn't you go with that move or something? Like, he's always like, hey, if you could have gone with the move, like, you would have. Like, he always trusts that I'm giving my best effort. Like, and that's really what I need in a coach. Like, I've had coaches that were like the tough love type before, and like that didn't like jive well with me. And I think it's because I'm already really hard on myself. So I need someone that's like the opposite. And yeah, I mean, it's not always easy. Like, there's times we have like, like we're fighting about something unrelated to running, and then you have to like go out to the workout, and you gotta like just try to be professional, but it's like, easy not to be. And yeah, there's moments, but for the most part, it's like, again, like, sharing the journey with people is like where the life is. And like, that's like the fun part, is like having him as a part of the journey, like having something we're building together and working on together that's like shared. Because otherwise, like, before, it used to be us training together, and we used to have that, and I was like really invested in his career. And then without that, it's like we could just end up having like parallel lives, right? Unless you have something you're both doing together. And so I feel like that's really where your greatest friendships and relationships are formed. It's like when you have a shared purpose and mission, like you're working with people. It's like teammates, college teammates, or like whatever, it's not just like going to get coffee and hanging out. It's like when you're like trying to like do something together. So I think I'm really grateful that we still have that. And yeah, it's been fun.
That like really motivates me, and I'm thinking the listener to like, it's like true, like who you surround yourself with, like that's gonna define the way you live your life too. And it's like, yeah, the coffee shops and the hanging out with the friends it's fun, but when you're like chasing something together, like that is
Yeah.
exciting and purposeful. It's so
I think
good.
it's just more meaningful when it's like a shared effort. It really is. And like when like who's better to fully understand it than someone who sees you every single day like that? And I just think it's such a special thing to do it together. And like Nick's like not only really good at what he does, but like he just understands it, and he understands me as well more than anyone. Like he can see it. So like he knows when I'm gonna have a good workout or a bad workout or in between, just by the way I'm moving. He can just see it. And that's just really amazing. But yeah, like Sarah said, like I've had every kind of coach, but I've had like the tough love ones, the ones where you don't get any emotional feedback or anything. And just to have that, like with Nick, like someone with no ego whatsoever, and just someone who wants to see me succeed, obviously more than anyone, because he sees what I put into it every single day. I just think it's really special, and it's no, we're both very lucky to have that, like this kind of relationship.
Hey friends, I'm so excited. I finally just booked my tickets. I will be at the Donna Marathon weekend. This is the national marathon to end breast cancer, and they have put so much into this race every single year. I go to Jacksonville, Florida, and just enjoy it. It is a beautiful, hopeful, amazing experience. It's not too late to register. They've got a 5K a half marathon, and a marathon, you can use the code Lindsey10 for 10% off your registration. Hit me up on Instagram, LindseyHine626, if you'll be there, because I'd love to meet up with you all and see you. I'm going to be doing a panel at the expo, and I will have details. Make sure you're following my Instagram because that's where you're going to find details on where to find me in Jacksonville. Sadly, I can't run the race this year because I had a surgery on my foot just 4 weeks ago. I had the bone shaved to get rid of my Haglund's deformity, and I'm going to be like head cheerleader, and I cannot wait to cheer all of you on. Go to breastcancermarathon.com. Use the code Lindsey10. This is a great tune-up if you're still looking like, hey, I need to get a tune-up half marathon in, or like a starting point half marathon in for my spring training. Come run it. It's always the best weekend. Breastcancermarathon.com. Use the code Lindsey10 for 10% off your registration. I hope to see you there. All right, friends, back to the show. I appreciated the comment, like, we might be fighting about something else, but like we got to be professional on the road. But just because, man, I've been married 17 years and like that's just part of marriage. That is just part of life. And so when you're like doing everyday life together, and then also, I mean, I can't tell you how glad I was, not in a negative way though, that my husband went to the office today. Because I'm like, the kids are all home. If he was in his office cooped up, like he'd be annoyed that they were being loud. I'm like, yes, it's better for you to just like not be in the house today. But it's just like managing all those different emotions and feelings on like a personal and then a professional level. It's something.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a lot better about it. I think like it just depends like where you're at as a person too. Like I think just trying to like manage yourself and like but yeah, it's something you're always I think like with someone that's not your spouse, you're a little more filtered, right? You're like, but with your spouse you just have
totally.
No filter. So you're like in the middle, you're like frustrated about something and you're just like, blah. But yeah.
100%. Yeah, you're your most vulnerable self. So does Nick like pace you guys in workouts and stuff? I mean, he obviously has to do his own workouts too. So like, what does that look like?
Yeah. Sometimes we'll kind of like the odd time we'll meet in the middle with certain things. Like we have this one session we do and it's just like, it's perfect. We just meet in the middle so well. So I'll do 400 reps. And by the time I've jogged back 100 meters for my rest, he's doing a K rep and I'm doing 400. So I'll jog back and then I'm meeting for like the second lap of his K rep. So I can do it and then we'll have like the rest in between each one and then it just works so well and it's like perfect pacing for both of us so I can just hang on to him. But yeah, he's doing a whole K, I'm doing a 400 and it works out well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's good.
things like that, it's very like we can just it's really good. We need to like video that one day because I'm like, this is so great how this just works to perfection. But no, we're very lucky on that sense. I'm very lucky on that sense that those kind of workouts we can work together. But otherwise I don't like I feel like Nick would help me more than he should. I feel like especially if I've got like a really like goal race coming up, he'll just be like he'll sacrifice like his workout to try and help me. And it's like, no, like you need to go much faster than this. Like this is too slow for you. I'm trying to like get the gap, because if I want a British record one day, I need to be getting near him anyway. So
yeah.
I'm trying, but yeah, the odd thing we can definitely work together. But obviously all the runs and stuff, and even the long runs, we work together quite a bit. So that's nice.
Maybe you're like keeping him from an injury or something though. Maybe it's like a positive thing. Maybe he needs to dial back a tiny bit sometimes.
I think with Nick, with his injury history, I think it is a good thing. I just think like for him, like really stacking the miles rather than stacking like a lot of intensity is definitely a good thing. So it does work. And then obviously with Ryan, he's an absolute legend on the bike. Like he helps us pretty much every workout. He's always on that bike helping us for those when we really need him. And it's just, it's definitely a great team.
I just had Laura Thweet back on the podcast and she told us the funniest story about her first day on the bike with the on team and like not knowing how to change the gears and like just like being like, I couldn't even get turned around and then Dathan had to come back and help me. And I'm like, this is an actual like real skill to be able to do the bike well next, to pace
Honestly,
people.
I don't think people get enough credit for on the bike. I did it once for Nick and it ended up in a disaster. And I was like, never again. Threw a paddy. I was like, no, this is not for me. I just cannot multitask. And Ryan's there doing their perfect pacing. He's videoing it content. He's giving us the drinks. Like, I'm like, how are you doing? It's like they don't get enough credit. Like, it's actually a big task.
Yeah. There's lots of different things. Yeah, she was like, and then he asked me what their splits were, and she was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot. I didn't start the watch right." Like all the different things.
Yeah.
Sara, what's going on with your girls? One of them is running in college. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with mom life right now.
Yeah, well, we've got 2 at home and 2 out of the house. So Hannah graduated college and is done running collegiately.
Wow.
And then Mia actually decided not to go back to college. So they're living together in Northern California, where we first brought them home from Ethiopia, where we were living in Redding. And they're attending the same school of ministry that we did, Ryan and I did, and with the same church that we were a part of with them when we lived there. They're really loving it. Like, they're living together, and they have Ethiopian friends there, and it's been an awesome like start to adult life for them. And then, yeah, we just have 2 at home, and Jasmine's a senior, and she's getting recruited. She's looking at schools right now. And then Lily is, she did cross country for the first real time this year, and they're doing basketball, right now in the winter, and she's a freshman in high school. So we'll just have Lily for, after this year, which is like pretty wild. But yeah, everyone's doing really well. We had a really fun Christmas break all together. I feel like it was like the best Christmas break yet, and just like had a lot of fun. They're like at really fun ages where it's like, there's like friends, like you're just like hanging out as friends, like doing stuff you actually enjoy doing, right? You're not like playing like shoots and ladders and stuff. Like, you're like actually like watching stuff you want to watch, and like going and like running together in really cool places and things like that. So it's a fun stage of being a mom. But yeah, my book, I write quite a bit about the journey of becoming a mom, and like balancing that with having ambition in your career, and like times I got that right and times I didn't get it right, and like my whole process with that. And because I think that's a thing we're all trying to figure out, right? And I think like, hoping to just share what I've learned along the way with that.
I mean, I think about that often because I'm like, man, I do have a job. I do have these things that I'm passionate about, but like, I like strip my kids for me, and I feel like I'm like, what is my purpose? And I know that it's so important for me to have a purpose outside of raising them, and it's good that's my number one priority, but like, it does feel scary to me when I think about like empty nesting and things like that. 'Cause I'm like, oh, I can see how you could go into like a real deep depression when your kids move out because your entire life shifts.
Yeah, I feel like we'll definitely miss them. It's going to change a lot. Like, it'll be so much quieter. But I feel like what's helped is we've had little training trips where it's just been Ryan and I, where we've like gone to somewhere for a couple weeks, just us. And so I think that's been nice. I think it'll help that transition a little bit better, that we had times where it was just us, and we still really enjoy a lot of things about being together and stuff. So yeah, we're not scared of empty nesting, but we'll definitely miss them, and hope they'll want to like be involved in our lives. You never know. But
that's it. Please come home. Please hang out. That's so good. Okay. Well, so have you announced your spring marathon?
No, I don't know when they're going to.
Okay.
Do you know?
Okay. Lips sealed on that. What will the next like few weeks or the month look like, as you definitely got to recover at least a little bit. I know you get back to it like super quick, but what is life looking like the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think for me, like obviously, the 2 marathon thing in a month was was a little bit crazy. So I have had a full week off this time, which is so rare for me. I do take it day by day each time, and I don't force it. I always like get back to running again when my body's 100%. But this time it's definitely needed a week. I am ready now. I'm like, I haven't been on my run yet. I procrastinated this morning, but
Oh, you're going on it today?
Yeah, I'm going to go on my first one, just to get out. It's going to feel horrendous because it's at altitude, and I've only just got altitude, so it's just that's another thing you battle here. But the weather's perfect, and it's just going to be a nice little jog with Nick. So yeah, I'm probably just do 30
Nice.
minutes. So yeah, and then we'll just slowly get into it, and before you know it, I'm back with Sarah, and we're on the grind again. We love it though, so it's yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I messaged Calli after Houston. I'm like, so workout Tuesday? But I was just like, but I was straight into it afterwards. I didn't quite go out as gangbusters as her, so I came off it a lot better and worked out Wednesday and Saturday the first week. And yeah, I actually
Wow.
have like a marathon, a little well, I don't want to share. Yeah, I don't know how to share. I have some racing soon. So I think like I'm getting back at it already.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm putting this out this week.
Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, I think yeah, it's been good to I came off it healthy and but yeah, definitely looking forward to sink in as soon as possible. But I have a friend that moved here from Gunnison that I used to train with. He's in Flag now, so that's been fun to train with Juan some and yeah, it's gonna be a good year. Excited to get after it.
Do you guys just love Flagstaff?
I hate it personally. I like really do. I really do
Oh.
love it. Like I really do. But it also is just so hard here. Like you just
Because of the
even the
altitude.
steady runs are just like you go on your steady run and you're like, oh, it's just an easy run. It's not. It's not easy. Like it's, none of it's easy. I feel like Sarah's so she'll say something completely different because she's like honestly
so used to
built
it.
like an Ethiopian. She's like honestly loves the altitude. She can go higher and higher, and I'm like I can never go higher than a flag. And she's like, you'd be fine. I'm like, we're different, Sarah.
Yeah, I think I really love that it's just a really livable city, you know, like I've lived in different mountain towns like Mammoth Lakes or like we spend the summer in Crested Butte and they're beautiful. Like they're these tiny towns of like 1,000 people and it's like stunning. But like as far as having kids and having a place where they can really thrive, that's like an actual city, you know, and like Flagstaff has a lot to offer like a family. It's like it's an amazing place to raise a family. It's the winters here, honestly, like I love marathon training here in winter. It's like it's amazing. You can always drop down really quickly if you need to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really rare, like really unlike like Colorado or somewhere like you're like socked in wherever you're at versus here, like we can always work out lower. And I think being able to live high, train low is like the ideal. And Calli loves working out lower too. So it really works well that we kind of prioritize that fast training that anytime we can drop down. And so yeah, I think honestly, I think it's the best place in the world to train. I've been everywhere, every altitude training location in the whole world by now. And I think it's like, as far as like actual, like what it offers to a runner is the best place in the world.
What would be your number 2 choice?
Okay. Number 2. Ryan's like Crested Butte. I love Crested Butte, but I don't think everyone loves Crested Butte. I think it's only like me and Emma Coburn that really thrive in Crested Butte. I don't think it's for everyone. But it has a similar, like you're able to at least get down to Gunnison. There's a track there. It's 7,700 feet. And so you can like live at over 9,000, drop down. And so I think that's really special. And it's just like the most beautiful place in the world. So I guess I would have to say there. But as far as like functionality, I would say maybe like St. Moritz, where you can really similarly like, it's not that high, but you can get down to Siavana or however you say it. And it's like sea level in like an hour. And I think those kind of places are really where it's at, you know?
Yeah, that would be my second choice for sure. But it would be joint. It would be joint
Oh.
with New Mexico, because of the history there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'd have to take, so at least you guys know that your second place choice is the same, so that if one person ever moved there, you could go together.
Oh, Sarah, if you ever want to get a condo there, like in St. Moritz, like get a 2-bedroom, me, Ryan, like honestly, I'll be down for that.
Let's go.
Well, I normally sign off with what's your last message, leave with the audience, but you guys have both been on. Sarah, you've been on this podcast so many times. I just did one of those 2016 like videos because that's trending like 10 years. And it was all about my kids, but I was like, I should do a video of like those first emails I sent because I actually launched this podcast in 2016. And so
Oh,
when I told my husband, you were coming back on, he was like, oh, she's like your first, like your OG pro runner that ever came on. So I went back to the email and read what I had wrote to you. And you were so sweet. You were like, that sounds awesome. I'd love to come on. But it's just funny because the trajectory of the podcast has changed so much. Like at that point, I was like, I'm interviewing friends and entrepreneurs and people that inspire me. And it wasn't like, I interview pro runners. So it's kind of fun to see how it's evolved. But you've always been part of the story, Sara, all along the way.
well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, I love getting to chat with you in person and online.
So fun.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsey.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so send us off then with what are you both excited about? That'll be our send off. What are you excited about for 2026?
Yeah, I just think all of it, like all of the
Go ahead.
training that we're gonna like continue. Yeah, another year training with the Halls. It's exciting. Just the whole journey, the racing we'll be doing, the craziness continues.
Yeah, I think for me it's I'm really excited about the opportunity with my book to like interact with people more. Like I think a lot
Oh
of
my
times
God.
like we get really
Make it
myopic about our
self-post.
performance and you go to Boston Marathon and you're kind of like hiding in your room. Yeah, cuz I think like yeah, I just really want to use it as an opportunity to like interact with more people that have like followed my journey for so long and stuff. And so like whether it's yeah, like at Boston weekend when it releases or all the marathons or all the races afterwards, like just really uses a chance to get out there more and meet people. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be a fun year.
Okay, so I know my sister has written a couple books and I know how important it is to get like pre-orders on books. I know that the publishers like want to see that. So I'm assuming people can like go on Amazon and already pre-order.
Yeah, you can pre-order it everywhere books are sold. I'm reading the audiobook right now, so it's on Audible for pre-order. Please buy the audiobook because it's a major labor of love. It takes like 30 hours or something, and I don't
Ooh.
have as incredible of a voice and used to talking as you, so it's like it's tiring. But yeah,
Oh, I bet.
I have some really cool stuff that if you do pre-order, you get an autograph to go inside. You get this little e-course I made on becoming a lifelong athlete, where I go into like more
Mm.
depth on the things I feel like have really helped me have longevity in the sport. And yeah, you'll get like some chance to win some other swag and stuff like that. So definitely pre-order if you plan to get the book. I think like that stuff will make it really worth it.
Yeah, and my favorite kind of book to listen to is this type of book, like a book where it's like more memoir, or whatever. What are you calling it? Are you calling it memoir?
It's a memoir, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. Because it's always more fun when it's like that the person's voice that like it's actually about and that actually wrote the book. So
Yeah, I've never loved my voice, and so I didn't know if I'd want to do it, but I did listen to Dez's and her voice and it was like so much better. Like it just her story came
yeah.
through so much differently and so I just had so many people be like, "No, you have to do it." So otherwise I was like I asked Aisha Lear. I was like, "Would you read it? Like you have such a nice voice." And
Oh,
she's like, "You have this cool like Emma Stone like voice." And I was
yeah,
like,
like a
"Oh,
little,
thank
yeah.
you." That like makes me like it a little bit more. So like after she said that, I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Oh. Okay, well, I'll let you ladies go. Calli, you got to get your run in. Sarah's got like a photo shoot or something. Thank you both for coming on the podcast and doing this. It's so fun to talk to training partners.
I know. I've loved it. It's so nice to do this together. And yeah, thank you so much for having us on as well.
And by the way, we had Nick on Road to the Trials, and that was super fun too.
I loved it. I was in the background listening to the whole thing. I was
Oh, of
loving
course you were.
it.
I love that. He was really, really fun. He was one of my favorite guests on that
Oh,
podcast. We're like trying to interview every single person who qualifies.
wow.
Just wait, Sara. I told the other guys on the team, I was like, they're like, we got to get a couple like of big name pros on. And I was like, sorry, Sarah's taken for I'll have another. We're gonna have to hit her up in like 6 months.
Oh, thanks.
For the Road to the Trials podcast. Um But yeah, he was awesome to interview. All right, ladies. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you. See you out at the races.
Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Calli and Sara, for coming on the show. You all can learn more about this show and all the shows in our network at sandyboyproductions.com. You can also find me co-hosting the Road to the Trials and the Relay podcast. Just find us in your podcast app. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on I'll Have Another with Lindsey Hein podcast.